Okay, now we'll talk lesson number 3. Do you have to obey what a police officer tells you to do? Well, the answer is if the police officer is not telling you something that's against the law, or something that is absolutely absurd, or something that will cause you great anguish and pain, you should obey. Even if you don't fully understand at the moment, the time for you to find out by arguing and complaining is not at that time. In fact, there's never such a time. You should find out later whether you were right or not. If it's not hurting you to comply, believe me, it can hurt you not to comply. So remember what I'm saying to you. There is a charge of to fail to obey a lawful order given to you by a police officer. That is another charge that can be added on top of whatever else you're already charged with. That means maybe more time in jail and more bond money. So you want to minimize your losses. Whatever you've been charged with, try to comply. And at that point, just deal with what you have. So if it's not unreasonable and if it's not against the law, even if he says it in an attitude that makes you angry, if he snaps at you, if he hollers at you, if it sounds like an insult or a threat, none of these things should be enough for you not to obey, because then you're going to get yourself in some trouble. Now, I want you to understand something. Police officers go through a whole course of a day being cussed at, talked about, laughed at, going into situations where they may not come home, fighting people, getting all blooded up, messed up, in traffic situations where cars come within inches sometimes of hitting them. That's on a daily basis. Then they got to go back to the department and catch a lot of crap from sergeants and so forth. And then if they make a mistake, lawyers get involved and they're trying to sue them for everything that they have. So do you think that officer has the time or the desire to sit back and jaw-jack with you about your complying when the lawyers want him to comply, the mayor wants him to comply, the sergeant, the lieutenant, the captain wants him to comply, right? He is determined that you're going to do what you're supposed to do, and that's to obey. So you think about that before you go off the handle and get yourself in a lot of trouble. If you have a grievance, take it up after you're safe and at home, and still then do it in the right tone, and it will be more successful for you. Getting loud and boisterous as you approach law enforcement or as you try to complain against law enforcement is normally a losing venture. If you want to win, take my advice. I'll be back with lesson number 4.